In this video, we are going to look at the prices of the most commonly used building materials: sand, cement, blocks, iron rods, and more, coming up next. Now, before we go into the prices of the building materials, this video is sponsored by Colson Plus. Colson Plus is a seller of cement and iron rods in East Legon Hills at Accra. Now, if you want quality customer service, if you want genuine prices, and if you want to know the difference between the different types of iron rods, I would recommend that you contact Colson Plus. Their contact details are on the screen. Tell them you are coming from Africa Building Hub, and they are going to give you a good deal on your cement and iron rod. Thanks, Bibre. In our last video, a lot of people said buildings and land in Ghana are overpriced. And so I want you to comment below what you think a 3-bedroom house, which is not a story building, on a standard 100 by 70 plot of land looking like this should cost. Comment below and let me know. And at the end of the video, we are going to answer how much it costs to build. With that said, let's look at the price of iron rods. Today, a ton of iron rods is selling between 6,600 cedis and 9,300 Ghana cedis. You can get the 20 millimeters selling for 9,300 Ghana cedis per ton. And if you want an individual unit of the mild steel or mild tensile iron rod, that is going for 206.70 Ghana cedis. You can get the 16 millimeters at 131.50 Ghana cedis per individual unit, and a ton is selling for 9,200 cedis. The 14 millimeters is selling at 9,200 cedis per ton, whilst an individual unit is selling for 96.90 Ghana cedis. You can get the 12 millimeters at 9,200 cedis per ton, and the individual unit is selling at 73.60 Ghana cedis, whilst the 11.5 millimeters is selling at 9,200 cedis per ton, and the individual unit is selling at 61.40 Ghana cedis. If you wanted to purchase the 10.5 millimeters individual unit, 45 Ghana cedis, a ton is 8,100 Ghana cedis, and the 8 millimeters is selling at 22 cedis per unit, while the ton is selling at 6,600 Ghana cedis. So many people ask me, where do I get my prices from? We usually look at the greater Accra region because that's where I live. And so we usually move between the Ghana East municipality. So we are looking at places like Ashoman Estates, Kwabenya, Hacho, Dome, Achimota, etc. But then we have a partner, which is Colson Plus. Colson Plus is one of the biggest retailers of cement and iron rods in Ghana, and they are people that we trust. You see, when it comes to iron rods, what we've discovered is that sometimes when the architect or the structural engineer specifies that people should use 16 millimeters iron rods, when they go to the merchant ends up selling them 14 millimeters iron rods, or sometimes even 12 millimeters, because they don't know the difference in sizes. They don't have any tools to measure. And so finding a trusted vendor is super important. And that's why for us at Africa Building Hub, we've partnered with Colson Plus, who sells iron rods, quality iron rods, and they are also very transparent. They have excellent customer service. They would explain to you all the differences and ensure that you are getting the right size of iron rods as well as the right quantity. Now, they are located at East Legon Hills, and so if you are building anywhere in Accra, greater Accra region of Ghana, tell them you are coming from Africa Building Hub. Their contact details are on their screen currently, and once you tell them you are coming from Africa Building Hub, you are going to get an amazing deal. Now, the price of iron rods have increased so much, selling at 9,200 Ghana cedis per ton. That's crazy because we started the year at about 6,600 cedis. And so we've moved to almost 50% increment in less than 6 months. It's crazy. Now imagine that your building project, you're probably going to need maybe 10 tons of iron rods from beginning to end, etc. Your fence wall and everything included, especially if you're putting up a story building. Then it means that you move from 6,600 per ton to 9,900. If you're buying 10 tons, 66,000 to 92,000 cedis. That's almost 30,000 cedis you've lost just by delaying. And that's why I keep advising my viewers that if you have something to do, do it now. Don't wait for the right time. In Ghana, the prices go up and they never come down. And so if you're watching this video, share it with somebody who is sitting on the fence about starting their building projects. Maybe they have land, they are waiting for economic prices to go down and all these things. Trust me, The next time you may watch this video, a ton of iron rods, maybe 10,000 Ghana cedis. Go into an agreement with Colsan Plus, pay in bulk, and then they can supply you whenever you need your iron rods or cement. And with that said, let's look at the price of cement today. Today, a bag of cement is selling between 95 cedis to 120 Ghana cedis, depending on the brand and depending on the grade of cement. If you want the 32.5, you can get some between, let's say, 88 to 95 Ghana cedis. Some are even selling for 100 Ghana cedis, right? The cheaper ones are selling like 88. The higher ones are selling close to 100 Ghana cedis. And if you want the 42.5 R grade, they are selling between 95 to 120 Ghana cedis, depending on the location. Again, contact Colsan Cement if you want cement, especially in bulk, and tell them you're coming from Africa Building Hub, and they're going to give you an amazing deal. Next, let's look at the price of sand, stones, and filling material. Why filling material? If you buy land at, let's say, a hilly or slopey area, many a times you would need to do filling. Sometimes even your roads leading to your house may be terrible, and you may need to do filling just to get into your house. And so today, a trip of filling material is selling between 1,400 Ghana cedis to as high as almost 2,000 Ghana cedis in most places. And so I recently bought 3 trips of filling material for a work that we were working on for a client. And we were able to negotiate down and get it for 1,300 Ghana cedis. And so I hope this information will help you to also be able to negotiate down. Again, comment below and let me know where you are watching from, where your building project is, and how much a ton of iron rods cost. Comment how much a bag of cement cost and how much a trip of filling material cost. The reason why this is important is because everybody watching is building in a different area, and so this is community information that is going to help people who may not necessarily be building where we are working at, but in other regions, etc. And it's adding to the body of knowledge. Very, very important. So comment below and let us know. Next, if you want a trip of sand, today a trip of sand is selling between 2,200 cedis to as high as 3,000 cedis, depending on the cubic capacity of the truck which is going to deliver the sand, how far away they are going to fetch the sand or win the sand to your building site, and then the cubic capacity like I mentioned. So the range I mentioned, the single axle can start between 2,200 and the double axle can go as high as 3,000 or even 3,500 in places. People told me that outside Accra, usually the price of sand and other materials are higher, and it's just shocking because we are trying to decongest the city of Accra, but it's cheaper to get your materials in Accra than somewhere in the northern region of Ghana. And these are things that we really need to look at. Again, if you want stones, you can get it between 2,500 to as high as 4,000 cedis per trip. And for your building project, you're going to need maybe 5 to 10 or even 20 trips of sand and stones. And so if you are looking at even 2,500 to 4,000, you're looking at 25,000 to 40,000 cedis on sand or stones alone. Next, if you want scaffolding, because if you are putting up any project which is pretty high up, especially story buildings, then you are going to need scaffolding, and you can either purchase them outright or rent them. Today, what they call one room is hired for between 30 to 50 Ghana cedis, depending on the location. Sometimes you may need about 8 of them for your painting works, for your stone works, your graffiato, etc. Even your ceilings and things like that. And so you are looking at between 240 Ghana cedis a day to as high as 400 Ghana cedis a day. And sometimes the work can take a week or 2. Next, let's look at the cost of nails. Today, you can get a box of 3 inches, 4 inches concrete nails or normal nails selling for between 50 cedis to 80 cedis, depending on the location. Now, if you want wood for your board work, you are doing things like your lintel, you are doing things like your columns, etc., right? And you want wood, or even you want to raise your own scaffolding, but you don't want to go and rent. Then if you are buying the boards, right, they are starting between 90 cedis to 120 cedis. And the information I'm getting is that these prices are going to increase pretty soon. And so you should buy them now. Or if you are doing like your formwork for your decking and things like that, you probably want to go and rent them because it's a bit cheaper, right? So those are some of the ways that you can save money. I recently purchased tile cement for some tiling works that we needed to do on a project. And today, a bag of tile cement is selling for about 40 Ghana cedis for the known brands like Permafix, etc. However, the lesser known brands are relatively cheaper and they still do the work, especially if it's in areas where you don't really care about the quality. So maybe you are doing tiling on an obscure area of your house, maybe the storage area and things like that where people don't really go. You can use the cheaper tile cement and you save money, and then you want to put your premium tiles and premium tile cement in your halls, etc. Those ones are selling for 40 Ghana cedis. The cheaper ones you can get in between 18 to 20 Ghana cedis. Comment below and let me know how much all these materials cost and where you are watching from. Now, at the start of the video, I asked you how much you think a 3-bedroom house looking like this will cost you. It's a normal bungalow styled house. Well, this house is costing about $50,000 and it's located at Pokwase. We did this interview with Kofi Anku and you can click here to watch that video. Thanks, Bebre.